Welcome back to Mr. Magazine, where we dive into the storms of celebrity passion, pride, and heartbreak. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and tap that join option to support us, because today, we're stepping into a story that has left both Hollywood and Istanbul gasping for breath. A single confession has set two continents ablaze. A voice trembling between love and rage has echoed across oceans: "I won't let Demet marry Jason Statham." It was supposed to be just another glamorous evening in London, flashing cameras, velvet carpets, champagne laughter. But beneath the shimmering lights of a high-end fashion launch, destiny had other plans. Yaman, the man whose charisma once lit up every screen in Europe, found himself standing at the edge of a storm he could no longer silence. Dressed immaculately, smiling with that familiar charm, he seemed the embodiment of calm. Until one journalist dared to ask the question everyone else was afraid to voice. Is it true that Demet Özdemir and Jason Statham are getting married? In that instant, time itself seemed to freeze. The confident grin faded, replaced by a tremor in his lips and a deep, pained silence. Then, the words spilled out, raw, unfiltered, almost defiant. "There is a woman I've loved all my life. That woman is Demet. And I won't let her marry Jason Statham. Because some things are written in the heart, not on paper." The room fell into stunned silence. But the world outside? It roared. Within hours, news outlets from Rome to Los Angeles were burning with headlines. La Repubblica called it a confession that shattered the walls of restraint. The Guardian dubbed it the love war between Hollywood and Istanbul. Spanish tabloids screamed, "Yaman declares war for love." Every morning show, every entertainment portal had only one subject: the Turkish heartthrob who dared to defy Hollywood itself. Social media turned into a battlefield. The #Yaman explosion dominated every platform. Some hailed him as the last romantic in a cynical world, others accused him of crossing lines that should never be crossed. But one truth remained: everyone was watching. Everyone wanted to know what Demet would say. At dawn, the phone rang in Demet's apartment. Her representative's voice trembled as he repeated the headline. Said that. According to a close friend, Demet sat frozen for minutes, her eyes fixed on nothing. Then, quietly, she whispered, "Did he really say that?" There was pain in her voice, but also something else: nostalgia, confusion, maybe even a buried flame. "I don't want to be part of such a complicated story anymore," she finally said. But those who knew her best could see it: this was not indifference. It was the calm before the emotional storm. Rumors soon spread through Istanbul's entertainment circles, whispers that Demet had been moved by the sincerity of his confession. "If he still feels this deeply," one insider said, "then maybe some stories truly never end." Meanwhile, in Hollywood's marble towers, Jason Statham's team was far from amused. His representative issued a crisp, icy statement. "Jason does not discuss his private life. We are not concerned with threats from anyone." Yet the silence behind those words spoke volumes. A journalist covering the Beekeeper 2 premiere in London reported that Statham's jaw tightened when Khan's name was mentioned. His only remark, delivered in that unmistakably calm British tone, sent a chill through the air. "I don't like drama in real life. There are lines that should never be crossed. Work should speak louder than emotions." By the next morning, headlines screamed, "Jason Statham draws a line in the sand." For days, she said nothing. But when the cameras finally caught her leaving a reception in Bebek, her voice carried both fragility and fire. "Everyone talks," she said softly, "but no one knows what we've lived through. I have mixed feelings. My only focus now is my work." The press froze. Mixed feelings. That phrase alone sent tabloids spiraling. Fans wondered, was this the sign of a heart still in conflict? Could it be that Demet still felt the echoes of a love that once burned brighter than fame itself? And then came the claim that reignited the entire saga. According to an insider from Milan, Yaman had quietly flown to Rome, allegedly to meet a special friend. But on the same day, Demet Özdemir also landed in Italy. Coincidence? Paparazzi from Kai magazine swore they left the same luxury hotel just hours apart. A producer from an Italian network whispered they hadn't seen each other for years. The spark was still there, you could feel it in the air. Maybe this wasn't a scandal, maybe it was destiny trying one last time. Of course, there was no proof, just speculation. But sometimes, rumors have more power than truth itself. Friends close to can say he had no PR agenda, no calculation. He just spoke from his heart, one confidant revealed. He still believes in their love. It's not over for him. His social media post days later confirmed what many already suspected. You can't silence your heart, sometimes the world deserves to hear its voice. The post hit millions of likes within hours. And then, a comment from Demet's best friend Sadio set the internet ablaze again. Some stories don't end. They just wait. Demet's hesitation, Jason's pride, Can's raw passion, 3 stars, 3 continents, 1 impossible triangle. But unlike the dramas they act in, this isn't a script. This is real emotion, unfiltered, unpredictable, and dangerously human. Now, new rumors swirl that Yaman will speak live next week on a Turkish talk show. According to sources, he plans to send one final message to Demet. Will that message heal old wounds, or ignite an even greater storm? The answer could define careers, relationships, even international reputations. But one thing is already certain, this love story has become legendary before it even ended. So what do you think, dear viewers? Do you believe in love that defies time, fame, and distance? Should Can fight for what he believes is eternal, or should he let the past rest? Share your thoughts below, we read every single comment. And if you love stories like this one, real, raw, and filled with emotion, make sure you subscribe to Mr. Magazine, hit that like button, and don't forget to tap join to support our growing community. Because the next chapter in this wild saga might drop any minute, and you don't want to miss it. Until then, this is Mr. Magazine, where stars love, cry, and confess under the world's brightest spotlight.